Hey guys, welcome to this cozy winter tutorial. Today we're going to draw this cozy girl with a cup of coffee, and this is a beginner-friendly tutorial where I explain you step by step how to create this exact illustration. This character design tutorial may be a little bit difficult for complete beginners, so if you are a complete beginner and you've never drawn in Procreate, I recommend you the tutorials that I'm gonna link here or in the description down below that you can start with, practice your way up, and then come back to this tutorial. Otherwise, if you already know the basics of Procreate, if you already know how to draw a little bit, you should be good to go. And before we start, please like this video right now, not to forget to do it later, and leave a comment down below on what you would like me to show you next, what kind of tutorial you would like me to do. And if you'd like to see more tutorials like this, please subscribe to my channel. So let's get started. Let's start by creating a new canvas, 3000 by 3000 pixels. And I'm going to start sketching with this brush. All the brushes and color palette will be linked in the description down below. Let's start with a rough sketch. I'm starting with a circle. Then I'm going to divide it like this to indicate where I'm gonna place her facial features. This is the eye line and this is the middle line of the face. Here I will have ears. We will have a big scarf, so we will cover the whole part of the face here. This will be our scarf, so we can erase everything underneath. This is a part of a scarf. And then we will have hair and a bun here. This is a part of her torso. A few folds inside the scarf. Her eyes will be closed like this. Her nose will be here. We'll have cheeks and eyebrows. For now it's very rough. This is just our first sketch to lay down the basis. And I'm gonna create a new layer because I'm going to draw a coffee cup here, and it will be easier for me to change things if it's on a new layer. So I'm going to draw a takeaway cup. I'm using the selection tool and freeform to change it a little bit and make it smaller. We will have fingers holding the cup here and a thumb somewhere here. And we will see part of her sleeve, something like this. Maybe I can erase this part of the torso. And now I can move this a little bit to where I think it will look best. Maybe somewhere here. And we will have some steam coming out of the cup. Like this. This is our very first rough sketch. And I'm going to merge the layers by pinching them. I'm going to decrease the opacity by pressing the N and decrease it to around 30%. Create a new layer with the same brush, just a little bit smaller in size. I'm going to refine the sketch. Now I'm going to try to make the lines cleaner and more defined. I'm going to start with the face. I'm going to create a new layer for some features that are close to each other because I want to be able to change them and move them around. So when they are on different layers, it will make it much easier. For example, I can just select with this arrow and move it around. So I'm trying to create new layers for each new element that I'm drawing. Now I'm refining the scarf and drawing more folds inside. Now I don't need my first sketch, so I'm going to hide it. And I'm going to try to improve this one. So I will go to the wrench icon, canvas, flip horizontally. And this way I can see if anything is distorted, and I can fix it with the liquify tool by pushing the features. That's why it helps to have different elements on different layers, so you can select them and easily fix them. I want to put her scarf a little bit closer to her nose, almost to cover it. I also want to add a few hair strands on her face, like this. Once I'm completely satisfied with this sketch, I can merge all the layers together and again decrease the opacity, and on a new layer make a clean sketch. This will be our last clean sketch with all the details defined, and then we will move on to coloring. can also add some kind of pattern to our scarf. So I'm just going to add a few lines like this, maybe lines like this, indicating that it is fluffy. And we are done with our sketch. So now we can just merge all the layers together. We can delete our previous sketches. And let's increase the size a little bit. Place it on the canvas. And now we can start coloring. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to curves and make my sketch red. Then I'm going to put it into multiply mode, decrease the opacity, and create a new layer underneath. Our sketch will always be on top, and later when we finish our drawing we will get rid of it, so it's not permanent. So it's just a guide for us. I'm going to use Mimi marker pen and also a streamlined version of this brush with increased streamline for smoother lines. Feel free to use any brush that you want. For outlines, Monoline standard Procreate brush works really well. Just make sure to increase the amount of streamline for smoother lines. And let's get started. The color palette will be linked in the description as well. So let's start outlining the whole silhouette first. I'm going to use this skin color and Mimi marker pen streamlined version, but feel free to use the Monoline brush for this. So I'm just outlining the whole silhouette for now, except for this stem. When you've outlined the silhouette, you can color drop it. Just make sure to adjust the threshold by moving it this way. And then you can go over the edges and fix them if something is wrong. And now I'm also gonna add these loose hairs on the same layer. Once my silhouette is ready, I'm going to create a new layer on top and use a clipping mask, clip it to this layer. And I'm gonna start coloring the other parts, starting from down to up, starting from the things that are below and going up. The first thing will be this sweater. I'm going to use this green color for it. And now it will be really easy. I just need to outline this kind of shape. I just need to do this, but I cannot just color drop this way because it will fill the whole layer. I need to make sure that it is connected. Let me show you. So now this is the whole connected shape and it will work. So now I can just color drop this way. Next I'm going to color the scarf. For the scarf, I'm going to be using this orangey color and I'm going to outline it inside my silhouette. Make sure that the shape is connected everywhere. Now I'm going to draw the hair on top of all the other layers as a clipping mask. I'm getting this light yellowish color. Don't worry about this part, I will show you how to fix it, but you can just draw on top of everything. Now let's fix this part here. I'm going to press on the layer with the scarf and select it. It will select only this layer where I have my scarf. And then I'm going to my hair layer And with an eraser, I'm just going to erase it here. Just don't erase this part. Okay. And now I'm going to go to this layer, select, and clear. So this part is gone. Okay, now our hair is done. Let's move on to the cup. I will create a new layer, clipping mask, and get this color. Not the lightest one, just this one. Now let's create a new layer on top. Again, clipping mask. Let's select our cup so that we don't draw on anything except for our cup. Go to our new layer and take this color here. And we're just going to draw this part without going to any other elements. Don't forget to connect all the lines. Now let's draw the fingers. Take the color of the skin. Now let's move on to the face. I'm going to create a new layer under all the clipping masks above our silhouette, and I'm gonna draw the facial features on this layer. First, we're gonna get our hair color, make it a tiny bit darker by going to the right side and a little bit redder so that the color is more saturated and not muddy. And we can draw our eyebrows. Next, on a new layer, I'm getting this dark color and drawing the eyelashes. With the same color that we used for eyelashes, I'm gonna go back to the cup, create a new layer above the cup, select the cup, and color this part here. Now on a new layer below the facial features, above our silhouette, clipping mask, multiply mode. I'm going to decrease the opacity to around 80%. I'm gonna get the skin color, go to the right side and make it red, more red. And we are going to draw the cheeks with the light movements like this. You don't have to draw like a circle. For this, I would recommend you to use a standard Procreate brush under painting. This is a round brush that you can also layer like this. And we can decrease the opacity to make it more subtle. And we will also color our nose. And add a little bit on tops of the ears. Just a little bit. And here. Now let's add the background and the stem. I will create a new layer under our silhouette and get this color. And I'm just gonna create a background for my character. I don't want to fill in the whole background, although you can totally do that. There is no problem. I just want to create this kind of background around the character. I want the edges to be softer, so I'm going over with light movements. Again, you can do this with the round brush. Okay, this is our background. And let's add the stem. It can be under our silhouette or over our silhouette, it doesn't matter. Let's get this whitest color and create our stem. Okay, and the last thing that I forgot, with the skin color on our silhouette layer, I will add these little things to the scarf. And we will have to come back to our scarf layer and just fill them in. Our base colors are done. Now we're going to move on to adding shadows and lights. Now that we're done with our base colors, let's add shadows. So we're going to create a new layer on top of everything and also clip it to our silhouette and put it to multiply mode. Decrease the opacity to around 65%. This will be our layer with shadows, which we will apply to the whole silhouette. And for our shadows, we're going to be using this purplish color. And I'm going to be using Mimi marker pen, but again, feel free to use round brush for that. We're going to start with soft shadows and then sharp ones. Let's imagine that our light is coming from the left side, from here. So our shadows will be mostly on the right side and underneath different objects, like underneath the scarf, underneath the sleeve, and so on. Let's start with our sweater. Maybe we can decrease the opacity even more. Let's say 53%. And I'm going to add this kind of shape under the scarf and a little bit here. Don't worry for now about the scarf. Just focus on the sweater. And a little bit here. Something like this. Now we can select our scarf, go to our shadow layer and clear. And we cleared everything that was overlapping the scarf. Let's decrease the opacity even more, it's too strong. Maybe around 26% for now. Now let's do the same thing with the scarf. On the same layer with the shadows, we are going to add some shadow here. A little bit here. And also underneath these folds. Again, don't worry about overlapping other objects for now. Something like this. Now we can either use our eraser and erase, or do the same thing when you select the layer and clear it. Okay, now I want to add a little bit of shadow here. And also here under the scarf, where the scarf is overlapping with the face. I will add a little bit here to separate the ear. I will also add it under the nose, under the eyebrows. A little bit under the hair, under the cup. I forgot to add it here. And a little bit on the cup, on the right side of the cup, on the fingers, under the fingers, under the lid of the cup, and on the hair. Let's turn off our sketch just to see how it looks without it, and we can fix some things. So this is the effect of our first layer with shadows. Now let's create another one on top. Clipping mask, multiply mode, and maybe around 37%, we will see. Make your brush thinner, and we will define some stronger shadows. Let's start with the sweater. So we will have a stronger shadow under our sleeve. We can also add these lines under the cup, under the scarf, under the scarf here, overlapping, and under our folds. Inside the ear, fold of the eyelid, the nostril. Can outline the nose as well. Under the hair. Under the scarf. under this part of the cup, under the fingers. And we can draw some hair strands. And also this part of the paper cup. Let's turn off our sketch to see. And this is the effect of our stronger shadows. And maybe I can add it here as well. I will decrease the opacity of my sketch even further, not to disturb me. And now we're gonna add the lights. Create a new layer on top of everything as a clipping mask and put it to overlay. Decrease the opacity to around 53% for now. Let's get this orange color. And again, the same brush. I'm going to add some light. So our light will be coming from here and it will fall on her hair. It will also fall on her scarf. Let's erase this part. We will select our scarf, invert, so everything that is not on our scarf is now selected, and I can easily erase it here. More light on the scarf, a little bit on the sleeve here, on her cup and fingers. For now I'm just gonna draw it like this and then erase it in some parts. Maybe erase this part, a little bit on this finger, a little bit on her ear, her nose. Let's play around with the opacity a little bit. Maybe I will leave it at around 57%. This is we can turn off our sketch layer. We will not need it anymore. This is the effect of our first light layer. And now we're gonna emphasize it even further. We'll create another layer, clipping mask, and add mode. Now we can decrease the opacity to around 11%, let's see. And we can add even more light. So on the places where we've already added the light, we are going to add a little bit more light, just thinner, maybe increase the opacity a little bit. Let's leave it at 23 for now. And add more light. I think I'm going to go back to the previous layer and add a little bit more light to the hair, like this, and continue working. So I will add a few details like this. And this is the effect of our light layer. Now we can add some details. I'm going to create another layer under our shadows and lights as a clipping mask, and we're going to add these fluffy little details to the scarf. I'm gonna get the color of the scarf, make it darker and more red, and I can add these little details here. Maybe we can even place it on top of everything and just make these ones a bit darker. Yeah, that looks better. And again, we can turn off our sketch. Let's take another look at our drawing. I think it looks great, and we're done with our drawing. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you post your results on Instagram, please tag me. And don't forget to like this video and comment down below on what I should draw next. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!